And we're live. Good morning, everyone. Jumping on today to talk about a couple topics. One being resurrecting consciousness, the other being reconnecting to nature. Right now, there's a lot of different religious celebrations happening around this time of year. You see a lot of different things happening, right? Easter, Passover, etc. But for me, this season is about our connection with nature. It's about the springtime coming back, full of life, full of creation. It's about the literal warmth of the sun returning to areas like mine where we've dealt with long spouts of cold during the winter season. And for me, it's also a time of, again, resurrecting consciousness, right? What do I mean by that? What I mean is being able to recognize and remind yourself that we're all part of this bigger whole, right? We are essentially the whole. And when we look at nature and when we reconnect with nature, that can easily be shown, right? When we go outside in the spring and we see how everything starts to sprout up, starts to grow, starts to show its beauty through the process, right? We see that we are part of that, right? In the sense that we all go through cycles in life. We all, you know, have different phases and stages of life sprout up, new beginnings of things. They mature, they grow, right? They show their beauty through their growth. And then eventually, we see the decline of that stage, that phase. Things start to, die down, destruct, but they, in that process of destruction, leave room for, again, a new phase, a new cycle, a new beginning, a new, time of rebirth, growth, et cetera, et cetera. So to me, we need to kind of combine those two things, right? Resurrecting the consciousness and reconnecting with nature. They go hand in hand, right? And I think one helps the other very symbiotically. In regards to consciousness, there's a lot of different definitions people might have for it. And, depending on your understanding, you might take these things in a different light. But right now, I think I'm using consciousness in the sense of consciousness of our relationship to the greater worlds, the greater whole, right? And remembering that we are part of this system here, and we have to be conscious of that, right? We can't just go out and say, all of this around me has nothing to do with me, right? We have to be conscious of our relationship with everything, right? We are, experiencing this world individually, but at the end of the day, this is a collective, right? So we have to use this time of year to remember, wow, when you walk outside, you are 100% interwoven with everything, right? Not just outside, but inside your home as well. But again, we only feel that it's somewhat interwovenness inside our homes, right? Inside our daily life existences, right? With work and family stuff and this and that. And we forget, like, wait a second. I'm also 100% interwoven to this entire world, right? Whether it be nature, whether it be other people, whether it be other beings, other objects, whatever you want to think of, right? You're interwoven with all of it. So with that being said, I mean, again, it's a time where we have to constantly remind ourselves that, hey, I need to be more conscious of things. I have to look at everything as if it is myself, right? Because I am connected to it. And when we start to resurrect that type of higher consciousness and higher thinking and utilizing knowledge, that's when we come to that more harmonious existence with things, right? We start to figure out ways to work with everything, right? How to work with each other, how to work with nature. How do we benefit each other, right? We have to get out of this mindset of, just use and abuse, right? I think, right now we're seeing a lot of destruction around Earth from natural disaster. And, in my honest opinion, there's no mistake that that has been happening more frequently, right? We are using and abusing Earth, right? And the crazy thing is that, we would more than likely never do the things that we do to this Earth in our own home, right? Like, we wouldn't walk around just destroying things like mindlessly, right? You don't walk around your house just like throwing trash everywhere and, abusing things in your home where, you're destroying them, right? It's just a strange thing with humans. It's like we again, we've disconnected from nature, right? We've forgotten that relationship. We forgot that this is our collective home, right? And it's like we gotta wake up quickly, because the destruction to this world is, causing a lot of things to happen, right? And there's no reason for it. So what can we do, right? What can we do to raise our consciousness, resurrect this unity, and reconnect to who and what we are? That natural state, that natural beingness, that nature itself, right? Earth, universe, beyond. What can we do, right? So easy. It's easy. It's just a matter of choice and doing. I personally uh, love connecting with nature, right? Why? Because not only is it overflowing with life lessons, but there, you know, there's so much positivity with being outside, with being in, a nice, beautiful, natural setting with animals, and everything is in its right place, right? Everything is exactly as it should be. And you are as well, right? You're out there, you know, just absorbing the natural flow of things, the natural beauty of things. You're observing the power of life in action, right? You're observing that very power that's inside of you externally. And it's incredible because that feeling of goodness and joy and connectedness is because you are that same thing, right? You are that life power that permeates this entire universe. So go out there and just stand out there. Be quiet, observe, just soak it in, connect to it. And I know it sounds all hippy dippy and new agey, and of course they say a lot of these things, yeah. But go out and experience it yourself, right? Don't knock it before you try it. Because there's a lot of truth to these things, right? Go take a hike. Go take a hike. Go take a hike through the woods. It's incredible how just a nice walk through the woods will help you raise that consciousness and see, like, wow, I'm another being roaming these woods, right? I'm no different than the animals. I'm no different than the trees. I'm no different than the plants. We're all beings existing in this realm. And I'm no different than you. And they have this purity and beauty and this just, again, it's just, it's incredible, right? Go take your shoes off outside, put your feet on the ground. There's a lot of research that's happened about, again, it's going to sound hippy dippy and new agey, but, grounding yourself to earth, right? And a lot of people forget, it's an electrical force permeating the entire universe. The earth itself is an electromagnetic, force, right? Humans themselves have electricity. We have electricity in our body. We are electrical beings as well, right? That's a part of us. So grounding yourself, look that up. It's not just putting your feet on the ground, it's an electrical concept, right? Of grounding. Go research that. It's fascinating, actually. But it makes perfect sense, right? As a person that works in technology, it's interesting. There's many devices that we will not dare utilize without grounding them to earth ground, right? We are the most technologically advanced device out here. We just don't realize it, right? We are an electronic device. So we need to make sure that we're treating ourselves as such in that manner. So again, getting out there and actually seeing, wow, I'm directly connected to everything, literally, in an electrical sense, a metaphysical sense, a knowledge sense, a consciousness sense, right? So it's, go take your shoes off. Why do you think when you're on the beach, everybody's got their shoes off, right? You have a large body of water, which is also a very, energetically charged thing. You're out in the beautiful sun, the warmth, you feel great, right? There, it's not by accident. That's because you're soaking in a lot of positivity. You're soaking in a lot of energy, and you're connecting on a very large scale. There's many other people on that beach, in the crowded beaches in the summertime, right? There's many other people connected to that earth. They're sharing that same positive experience, that relaxation, that warmth of the sun, that feeling of, this is nice, right? Do things like that to raise that vibration, right? You're also a vibratory entity, if you want to use that terminology, right? Everything in this realm is vibration. Everything is vibrating. All right. That's science. Again, I've said that before. That's just science. I'm not making up some crazy stuff. We all vibrate. Everything has a frequency. Everything is movement, right? Everything is vibrating. I lost my train of thought on that one. So whatever. There we go. That's the beauty of doing things on the fly. Everything is vibration, so on that sense too, you need to connect with that consciousness, right? I'm on the same plane. When we're vibrating together in this joyful experience, I've talked about this before, things are harmonious feeling, right? There's an elevation to your sense of well-being because, again, you're connected in that manner, right? So reconnecting with nature helps you raise that vibration inside of you, right? It helps you harmonize with the earth, with other beings, with with these energies that are always around us and are us. And you could see for yourself, but in my experience, when you connect more with nature, when you get outside, you again literally take your shoes off, connect with the earth, get out there, get your hands dirty, observe, learn, it raises your awareness, it raises your consciousness, it shows you that, wow, when I'm aware of the things around me, when I'm aware of my connection with those things, overall, I feel more happy. I feel more connected. I feel more compassionate. I also feel, very hesitant to do anything that might hurt something or someone. Hesitant to, take something from nature when I shouldn't. You start to really think about your actions, right? You start to think about what's important to you, right? You know, it, I'd have to mention, gardening and farming and growing food in this too, because I feel like that's an even greater connection, and that's an even greater understanding that you can have about the connectedness of things and how, you know, it would raise your awareness even higher, right? If, even if you just put one edible plant in the dirt, right? You have to think about that, right? Your focus then becomes on that plant. Why? Because there's literal, fruit that will come to fruition through your care and attention to that thing, right? So, you know, it's almost like, oh, we know what's at the end of this experience, right? This cycle of planting something, and we hope for that fruit, that vegetable, whatever it is, so that of course we could eat it, right? Because food is life, right? Food helps us sustain our life. So of course it's important, right? So if you've ever tried to grow something that you're going to eat, you automatically see how your consciousness, your awareness is automatically raised in that sense, right? You realize, oh wow, I have to pay attention to this. This is an actual living thing. This is a being. It's like taking care of your kids, right? If you want your children to grow, you have to make sure you feed them, you got to hydrate them, you have to love them, you got to take care of them. You have to look at the weather, see if it's going to rain, is it going to snow, is it going to be too cold, too hot? A lot of thought goes into just keeping that thing alive. Why? Because oh, I'm going to utilize it, or it's my child, I have to keep it alive, right? But you see what I mean by that. It's okay, now you're seeing this thing in a very different way. Why? Because of course it benefits you. But what if you remove the whole, idea of how it directly benefits you and think about how things indirectly benefit you, right? Which at the end of the day directly benefit you. How, for example, people are destroying natural habitat all around us, right? And the bees are in a horrible state of existence. Pollinators in general just don't come around. Why? Because we rip all that stuff out of the ground that they are attracted to and need, and they have nowhere to go. So they die. They have no food. They have nothing, right? And what's going on here? Well, how does that affect me? A lot of people think, well, it's, we need those beings to help us make beneficial, you know, things in this world, right? We can't just wipe out all of this stuff and think it's not going to affect us, right? So it's like, you growing an entire acre's worth of edible plants and then bulldozing the whole thing before you got anything off of them. It's like, why would you do that, right? So why would you continue to destroy all the stuff around you, right? Why? Because people don't think it affects them or it affects anybody. But look at it, right? Look at it. When you start putting things in the ground and you start learning about your connection with all of these things and how it benefits you directly, how it benefits, the greater whole, you start to see, oh my God, like, wow, I was being, hold on, my camera's moving on me. You start to see how, you know, you really have to be very acutely aware of everything, right? And that helps you start learning, right? I look at my yard and I say, when I first moved here, 4 or 5 years back, you know, I didn't know anything about a lot of the things around here. And perfect example, I have a row of ferocious, thorny things growing on the side of my property. And I was like, what is this? And when I moved in here, the first thought was, God, this stuff's nasty. I'm just going to destroy it. I'm just going to cut it and get rid of this crap. So I started annihilating this stuff, just thinking, oh man, this is nasty, thorny, horrible. I got to get this out of here. Which was, funny enough, turned out to be a good thing, because after I had chopped it all back to the ground, it started ferociously growing back the next season. And I let it go and I said, all right, I'll get to this again. And this stuff's going to be a nightmare. I'm going to have to battle this forever. And it turns out I let it grow. And lo and behold, I saw lots of flowers start growing on it and went, okay, well, if there's flowers, there might be fruit. So let's check this out, see what goes on. And sure enough, it's tons of blackberry brambles, right? So again, I sat there and that was a first shock to my system, saying, oh, whoa, what else on this property is out here that I am thinking of annihilating? And it could be a food source for me. It could be, a food source for bees, which are always around there, and different bugs. And, what am I doing? I'm killing a lot of stuff here for no reason. And, I'm affecting myself, I'm affecting other beings, right? That was just the first of many wake up calls back here, where now I'm like, oh, wow, this is a gold mine, right? All around me, there's stuff that I could utilize in so many different facets that many people would probably just destroy. It's crazy, right? But again, all these things were lessons for me. They were showing me how, a lot of things that I already felt deep down inside, and just kept confirming them. Like, wow, when I reconnect with the natural world and how things naturally operate, the cycles of nature and everything, I naturally gain knowledge. I naturally raise my vibration. I naturally raise my conscious connection with everything. It takes you to depths where you don't just start thinking about how you can feed yourself just by connecting with nature and become, more self-reliant and self-sufficient, but it gets you excited to think like, wow, if more and more people did this, like, we could really make a huge change in this world, right? Like, I think big, man. I truly believe that if every household in this, we'll start with every household in the state of New Jersey, let's say, right? If we're supposed to be the Garden State, haha, amazing how that's a joke, but anyway, Imagine if everyone in the Garden State of New Jersey grew just one or two different food items. Every household, right? A lot of people that live here, right? Densely populated area. We can more than likely feed our entire state 2-3 times over with the amount of things we'd be able to grow, right? We wouldn't even need a supermarket for vegetables and fruits, that's for sure. We'd be limited maybe in the types of variety that we could have, but really think about this. It's wild. If everybody started to raise their consciousness and their connectedness and started just, going back out there and seeing how amazing nature is and how amazing you are and how amazing it can be when you work with it symbiotically. The things that can be done are astounding. And it's not even like, things are that difficult. Sure, there's difficulties in growing food, there's difficulties in everything, right? But most of the time it's dropping a seed in some dirt, giving it some water and giving it some love and attention, and lo and behold, nature does the rest, and you've created something out of essentially almost nothing, right? It's amazing. And you not only that, you think about how amazing it is that you can grow one piece of fruit or one vegetable and pop that thing open and have, you know, many different seeds, not different, many seeds in that fruit or vegetable to allow you to create many more of that thing. The regeneration, the potential for other life. It's like one person can grow one plant, provide seed for an entire neighborhood after one season. And that could perpetuate to infinity. It's unbelievable, actually. So you think, like, if everyone was doing it, God, we can really, we would never ever have a hunger problem, ever. And not to mention, it's most of the resources you need to properly garden are free, right? They're free. They're just out there. But we're destroying them to a point where, it's hard to utilize them, right? But anyway, point is, you see what I'm saying, is that raising that awareness, that connectivity, man, we could do amazing things, right? It's not just the small individual, like as a whole, it could be amazing, right? And it all ties in. It's like, imagine that awareness that, wow, instead of throwing my vegetable or garden scraps or my fruit scraps in the garbage to go to a landfill, this is gold because this stuff in my garden decays and gives that power for that next generation of life. It's an amazing thing, right? But again, most people mindlessly just chuck that stuff in the garbage. They don't think about it. They don't think about how that's destroying the planet, because the leftover nutrients and energy and material in that thing are absolutely needed, right? Hate to tell you, but when you walk outside in the yard, you're walking on layers and layers and layers and layers of decomposing, rotting material and things that have decomposed over years, but that stuff is what perpetually gives life to the next season of things, right? So you keep thinking, right? See how everything is connected. You start growing your own stuff, you say, man, why am I throwing that in the garbage? That's gold. And it's, again, nothing to do with money. That's your money. That's your currency. That's your savings account. That's your insurance policy. That's nature's insurance policy, right? Maybe not IN insurance, but insurance policy. It ensures that we're continually giving back. As we take, we must give, right? That's a cycle. Take, but give back. Take, but give back, right? But in modern society, all we do is take, right? Our consciousness in society, for the most part, is low, right? A lot of people don't think like this. A lot of people don't see this. it's insanity. We just see it's okay to just, not think about it. I don't care. I want to make sure I buy my new things and make sure my life is luxurious. Like, dude, you want to talk about luxury? Shit. You can feed yourself without relying on society. You could help save the planet by just regenerating life. You're a creator. You're a person that can legitimately help create life, help perpetuate life. It's wow. You talk about luxurious. Sounds like a king to me. Material luxury can't equate to that. Sorry. Think about it at the end of the day. You can grow your own food. Wow, that's it. The ultimate. You can help feed other people. Holy crap. You can help save Earth, keep it healthy, clean, beautiful. Damn. Sounds like an awesome status to me. Right? But it's not until people start doing these things that they see it, right? For a long time in my life, I always had this feeling like man, how do I, start connecting with nature? How do I start like getting into this process, right? And it just took a while, right? You have to keep on it. And a lot of the times you're reminded of this by society, right? Your 9 to 5 job, many people are stuck behind this all day, this computer screen with the camera and the, microphone. And then we go to TV, we go to this, we go to that, and then you think to yourself, like, God, is this really what I do? Like I live in front of this keyboard and mouse and screen all day, or this TV all day? Like, no, you start feeling like, man, what am I missing? I need to get out, right? So what do? You go outside, go to the beach, you go to the woods, you go to beautiful nature places, right? You look at the stars at night, you have a campfire outside, you cook outside, you have these interactions away from all this technology, society, etc., right? Takes a while though. You got to keep doing it. You got to keep reminding yourself that all of these things that we're wrapped up in really not conducive to positive existence or to a higher beingness and a higher connectedness, right? It's just so keep going out, look into these things, look into just carving out time every single day of your life to just get outside, go be quiet, go look at a bird. you know Look at them seriously, look at them and just look at everything around you, how the trees are, how the plants are, the winds, the sun, the rain. Look at everything and just see, wow, this is incredible, right? And I should feel oneness with this, right? How am I different than this? I am connected to this earth. I am connected to this universe. I am connected to everyone and everything, right? And it's not just nature, right? It's nature meaning the natural world. It's people too, right? It's realizing that look at the diversity in the natural world, right? Of course, there's different plants, animals, things, whatever. As a species, we are one species, right? We're human. But at the same time, there's a lot of diversity. There's a lot of people that bring different things to this entire collective experience, right? So raising that consciousness, not thinking that everyone should be like you. Imagine walking outside of your house and all you saw was one type of grass everywhere. Oh, shockingly, I said that like imagine it. It's what people do in neighborhoods all over the place. But imagine there was no other thing, no other thing in existence, no other trees, no other plants. There was just grass. How boring. Everyone's the same. Every blade would be the same too. Imagine that. Every blade's the same. Ugh, just one patch of green. Blank, green, no diversity, no nothing. And think about that relation in human. Imagine like there's people out there that think everyone should be like me. I know how to live. I'm the best. Sorry, I crack myself up. That would be so dull, boring. Uh, just one. Imagine everyone doing the same exact thing. No, everyone's diverse. That's what makes life beautiful, right? Don't think of it as the sense of good and bad, but everyone has their own personality. Everyone has their own thing to bring to the table. Everyone has their own way of viewing life, things like that. But, there's certain things that I think in the universe and in the whole grand scheme of reality is that there's laws, right? And rightfully so. And in this world, in this earth, there's laws here, right? Whether we think so or not. And yes, we're all diverse humans. And yes, I think that we should express ourselves individually. We should always, be genuine and authentic, and we should not be afraid to be who we are. But at the same time, we have to remember our interconnectedness. We have to remember that consciously, as consciousness, we are one, right? As reality itself, we are one. As, you know, beings that share the same home with this planet, this universe, we are one, right? With everything. So we have to continuously, again, raise that consciousness. We have to remember this. Remember. And part of those laws, is connecting to nature. Remembering, again, connectedness, right? There's other laws, I think, as well, but for the topic, we'll stay on this. I think it's a law, right? As a human, it's our duty. It's our duty to look out for each other. It's our duty to take care of each other. You take care of your family members and then, it stops there. Some people don't even take care of their family members. They just take care of themselves, right? It's insanity. And then there's some people that don't take care of themselves at all. They don't take care of anyone, anything, not themselves, nothing. Which is, again, if that's where you are, that's fine. I'm not judging you. But what I'm saying is that doesn't it make sense that it's, feels like it should be our duty to take care of ourselves, right? Take care of our family and then take care of everyone else and everything else, right? Because we all are connected. We all affect each other. All of us, everything, totality, one. See it for yourself. It's really easy. And, look at what's going on in this world. Look at all of the craziness. Look at all the madness. I'm telling you, you start thinking about life in this way, in its simplistic form, existence, right? Keeping yourself alive, just, the basic necessity, food, clothing, water, shelter, love, right? All those things are love, in my opinion, obviously. Well, not obviously. But anyway, getting back to that mindset of simplicity, right? We've overcomplicated a lot of things in this world, and it's causing chaos, right? But anyway, when you focus on the simplicity of life in its core, you realize that all this other shit we're doing is just ridiculous, right? Because if you really start doing it and thinking about it and analyzing it, you start getting out there, reconnecting with nature itself, right? You start raising your conscious awareness of things, your vibrational energy, your electrical energy, your connectivity with things. You'll see it's like obvious. It's almost slaps you in the face, like, oh God, what are we doing? Like if we just focused on those topics right there and just individually started to manage that problem from our microcosm, that could easily expand out into the macrocosm and become a really insanely beautiful thing that bridges us all together, right? Because food and water, traverse all language boundaries, skin color, whatever things that people categorize us in, political party. It traverses all that stuff, right? It transcends all that stuff. Just like music is, they say it's the universal language, right? Food and water, it's the same thing. Like, it doesn't matter who or what you are. You still wake up every day and need to drink and eat, right? So imagine that. And breathe. I mean, breathing, right? That's like the main. Those things connect us all regardless of anything, right? That helps us sustain this life force across the board. It's not different. Well, maybe different for certain advanced beings out there in the universe, but for most of us, it is the thing that bridges the gap for all of us, right? We don't eat, we don't drink water. Well, we can't fight and argue with each other, right? We can't watch our TV shows, our YouTube videos. We can't argue about petty nonsense. Got to get a good meal and a good healthy amount of hydration. But think about that, right? It's like, unless we start seeing how amazingly simple it is and how quickly we can turn it around collectively, I don't know. Things will just remain the same, right? It's funny. I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm on an island with all this thinking and the way I see things, but I know there's more and more people out there. They feel this. They don't know exactly what's going on with them, but they feel this pull. They feel this pull away from all of this societal craziness, and they feel this pull back to that simplicity, right? That's nature. That's the Mother Earth calling. That's the universe calling. That's whatever you want to call it. It's calling, right? It's calling because it's saying, help. You guys are in trouble. I'm in trouble. We're all in trouble because we're all connected to each other, right? Earth is our home, guys. We could do, you could do religion and you can do different things, vices and all this stuff. Like, you can do all that to help supplement, whatever it is you need to supplement. But really, guys, think about this, right? Are you hearing this in church? Are you hearing this in temple? Are you hearing this in, are you hearing this on the news? All they're doing is telling you, well, this is how it is. This is how it was a few thousand years ago, and the world kind of stinks, and pray for peace, and, violence, 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 hate, 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 blah, blah, blah. All right. Well, to me, I'm an engineer by trade in my job. I have to create solutions for things all the time. I'm presented with many problems, and I can tell you, harping on the problem over and over again doesn't change anything or help anyone. Looking at technology from 25 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever, doesn't help me that much now, right? So what are we doing? Why are we repeating the same junk over and over again, right? I'm not knocking religion. I'm not knocking whatever. I'm just saying, are they doing this? Are they telling you that, hey, guys, the answers to life are pretty simple? The fact of the matter is, the difficult part is getting over the shit pile of madness we've thrown on top of our psyches, on top of our, minds. The fact that we just blindly follow other people, don't think about how the answers are right in front of our face. We don't need other people to tell us. It's helpful when other people tell us and points to these things, but it's right there smacking you in the face every day, and you just don't realize it, right? It's like, wake up, wake up, wake up. All this fighting, all this nonsense means nothing. Means nothing because we're not solving problems right now, right? We're not focusing on the core, on that life itself, that power, that connectedness. We got to focus. We got to reconnect. Raise your consciousness, right? Raise that shit up. Anyway, I know I repeat myself a lot, but it's because the messages have to sink in, right? If you watch me from beginning to end, the messages have to be heard, absorbed, and then it's up to you to make the choice to think. It's up to you to make the choice to change. It's up to you to make the choice to evolve your existence, to grow, to see how you are, not so small, right? You may be a little speck of dust in comparison to the infinitude of existence, but you are very much a part of it. And, because you are connected to the whole, anything and everything you do is connected to the whole. Think about that. Remind yourself that. So, even if you are a religious person, even if you're somebody that strictly goes, with different rituals and practices, give it a chance, right? Take the opportunity to see that it's not just what someone writes in a book that is the ultimate truth or, ultimate value to you in your life. It's what you see through your eyes out there in reality for yourself directly. It's what you take, what's what you extract out of it, right? Follow your practices, great. Again, there's a lot of good moral value in religious practice and spiritual practice and meditation, prayer, and then, selfless service and devotion. There's a lot of value there. But the most value is seeing, okay, these things are meant to keep me in line, right? But I'm meant to go out there in the world and explore and see for myself, is all this stuff valid, right? Is it valid? Or is someone like me valid? Am I telling you the truth, right? I don't extract this information from books, right? I've done many spiritual practices in life, but I don't take them and say, I believe this is truth. No, they showed me the way, right? I was the one that a lot of the time they showed me that how I felt and what I was thinking, it validated me in a sense, right? I said, oh crap, I've been feeling that way for a long time. I just didn't know what to call it, right? Going on trips to beautiful natural places, things like that. You get that really amazing connected feeling, right? So, but it was up to me, right? It was up to me to make the conscious choice to explore those things. Look at the messages being sent to me and just really extract, again, that knowledge and wisdom out of existence itself, right? Go do that, right? So, you know, today is Easter Sunday. Excuse me. I know, you know, the story with Jesus and this and that and the other thing. And again, not going to get into this, but just saying, all of those things are good. They're to remind, the practitioners and the followers of those faiths about the different sacrifices people made and about, a lot of different lessons and stuff like that, right? But trust me when I say, I mean, that's not just it. That's not just it. And in my opinion, a teacher like Jesus would even tell you, again, it's all not just it, right? Someone like him understood the connection of everything, right? He always said I and my Father are one, right? He did say that. Well, at least that's what I've been told. But if he did say that, then he would probably agree with everything I said. So think about it that way, right? It's okay to worship to an extent, but don't forget who that person was. Don't forget the value and the lessons that he taught. And don't forget the core of those teachings is that oneness, the love for everyone, everything, right? Don't just sit there in a church or a temple or a mosque or whatever and just take that, take the scriptures for, truth 100%. You see where I'm going with this, right? It's up to you. Get out there, raise your awareness. I promise you, when you connect to the world and other people on higher levels, you start to see through some of those veils, even in the religious texts, and you start to see, oh wow, they were talking about some really, really deep concepts here. I just didn't see it because I didn't have that direct experience to understand what was being written, right? And a lot of you might get what I mean by that, but trust me when I say that's the truth, right? And I've studied many different areas, Eastern, Western, philosophy, religion, whatever. So delved into it pretty deeply. I could tell you, like it's like the words start jumping off the page. You go, holy shit! They're all talking about the same thing. It's all just, again, it's diversity, right? It's different flavors for different people. It's presented to different cultures in different ways. But this knowledge, it's all out there. It's right in front of your face. It's all out there in nature. It's out, it's in your home. It's in you. It's in everything. So stuff gets me jazzed up. I get excited. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Thanks for listening and watching if you're seeing this. And yeah, love you guys. Have a great day. Don't forget to, keep the junk out of your life. Keep these important concepts into your, in your awareness. Please go reconnect with nature, and yeah, let's do this, guys. Let's stop the wave of negativity. Let's start getting back into it. Let's start being awesome with each other. Let's start having fun. Let's stop being fearful. Let's stop being angry, right? Let's enjoy this life, guys, right? It starts with these things. Let's enjoy. Anyway, have a wonderful day, and yeah, we'll touch base again soon. Love you all. Peace.